I've been checking out insights from about 10 different XRP chart analysts recently, and there's this recurring theme that keeps coming up. The longer time goes on, the more I'm seeing consensus build around the idea that XRP is gearing up for a breakout sooner rather than later. And that's noteworthy, because usually the summer months are pretty uneventful in the crypto world. But here's the thing. I've been pointing out for weeks now that we're currently in year 4 of the bull cycle. And if you look at the last couple of 4-year cycles, you'll notice summers in those years weren't quiet at all. In fact, they were filled with strong momentum and price surges. So, if history even comes close to repeating itself, we could be in for some serious action in the near future. Now, before we dive deeper into any of this, I want to make one thing super clear. I'm not a financial advisor. I have no professional financial background whatsoever. None of what I say is meant to be financial advice. Purely for fun, this is just a hobby. As for prices right, now XRP is sitting at $2.18, and Bitcoin is at $107,411. Both are pretty flat over the past 24 hours. But that's all good, because once XRP makes its move, I think we're all going to want front row seats. So I came across this post from Crypto Insight UK, where he was spotlighting an interview he had with Credible Crypto back on December 5th, 2024. That was around 6 weeks before XRP finally broke its previous all-time high, after more than 7 long years. What really blew me away is how spot-on Credible Crypto's predictions for this cycle have been. I genuinely think he's one of the most accurate and insightful analysts in the space, and it was awesome seeing him in Crypto Insight UK have such a solid discussion. Honestly, I think both of them bring a lot of value to the community. I even shared some of their insights when the interview first dropped. But get this, Crypto Insight UK just reshared that same video and encouraged people to give it another watch. He said it's a great time to revisit it, especially because Credible Crypto laid out a detailed projection for XRP's next moves once this consolidation phase wraps up, and it looks like we're just about there. So what exactly is he talking about next? Let me fill you in, because Credible Crypto also reposted the video and said, if you're holding XRP or even just considering it, this is a must-watch. In it, he breaks down his long-term outlook, using technical analysis, where he explains those $20, $30 targets he's been discussing for years. And you know what? He hasn't been wrong yet. Even half a year later, he's doubling down, saying that not only is a double-digit price likely, but that $20, $30 range is still firmly in play. I just wanted to highlight this because when someone with his track record is still this confident, it's definitely worth paying attention. And right after that, I saw another post from the blockchain backer. He said, it's been a long road to get here, but we finally made it. And on the right side of the chart, he shows Bitcoin's price movement from back in 2020. Specifically, he points out March of that year, when Bitcoin dropped sharply to around $3,600. That was during the infamous COVID crash. Remember that? Total panic. At the time, it really felt like the sky was falling and nothing was going to recover. But of course, things didn't just bounce back, they exploded. Bitcoin took off, altcoins followed, and the whole market went into full bull mode. And sure, there was plenty of fear back then. People were saying, don't you see what's happening globally? There's no way markets come back from this. Sound familiar? There's always some macro-level crisis that's supposedly going to ruin everything. Well, here we are again. The blockchain backer put out a post this morning saying, in essence, yeah, it took time, but look, the setup we've been tracking is playing out. He's pointing out the structural similarities between what's happening now and what happened during that 2020 recovery. You can see he's referencing this ABC corrective wave pattern, which he's actually been predicting for months. And looking back, he wasn't just guessing. Here's another post from him, dated February 28th, showing the same structure forming. At that point, nobody knew for sure whether it would unfold that way, but now it's clear he nailed it. That earlier post I mentioned from February 28th was already eye-opening. But what's even more compelling is what came next to more updates from blockchain backer. One of them, which I shared yesterday, was pretty bold. He said Coinbase, V's altcoin market. You're not bullish enough. And here's what he did. He took the total 3 chart, which represents the top 125 crypto assets, excluding both Bitcoin and Ethereum, and overlaid it with the stock price of Coinbase. He nicknamed that total 3 line something like magenta, or whatever shade that is, but the key point is this. The movement of altcoins is closely mirroring Coinbase stock, just with a slight delay. It's almost like Coinbase is showing us a preview of what's about to happen in the broader altcoin market. And wouldn't you know, Coinbase just had a breakout last week. So if this pattern continues and Total 3 follows the lead as it has been, we might be on the brink of a major move up across altcoins, including XRP, by the way. Now this morning, blockchain backer doubled down. He reshared the idea, but this time using the total to chart, which still includes Ethereum but excludes Bitcoin. Again, it's layered on top of Coinbase's stock chart, and this time he pointed out that Coinbase has officially broken above its December highs. His message? You're still not bullish enough on your altcoins, and honestly, I get it. Look back to late 2023. The correlation between Coinbase stock and the altcoin market was already clearly forming. It's easy to miss because Coinbase hasn't been a public company for that long, so it's not top of mind for most people as a leading indicator. But I'm paying close attention now. This correlation is just too strong to ignore. And get this, crypto wizard spotted the same thing. He posted a chart showing Total 2 overlaid with Coinbase stock this time. Coinbase is the blue line and, he straight up said, don't fight it. Coinbase is breaking out, altcoins always follow. The pump is inevitable. His point is simple. Historically, altcoins have lagged behind Coinbase, but when they catch up, it's explosive. Then there's TechDiv. He posted to his 530K plus followers on X, sharing a chart of the total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin. That's, again, Total 2 said something huge. Altcoin compression is at record highs. The expansion phase will be like nothing we've ever seen before. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at all. There are a ton of macro signals flashing green right now. I've mentioned global M2 before, won't go deep on that today, but just zoom in on what TechDev's chart is showing. Bollinger Bands, they are the tightest they've ever been in history. Back in 2022-2021, right before the last explosion, in altcoins, the Bollinger Bands were extremely tight, but they're even tighter now. That tells us something big is coming. No, Bollinger Bands don't tell you the direction, but they absolutely do tell you volatility is coming. And since we're in a bull market, odds are we break upward. And this includes XRP. Yep, XRP is on the chart too. And before you shrug this off, listen to this. Go back to a post from April 16, 2024. One analyst pointed out that XRP's monthly Bollinger Bands had gotten tighter than ever before in its history. The width was just 0.7. The last time it was even close was in 2017, right before XRP exploded. That same pattern played out despite the SEC lawsuit back then. When those bands get tight during a bull market, something big is about to happen. In 2017, it was a monster rally. Same in 2021, and right now, those bands have tightened again. We saw expansion, followed by a months-long consolidation. Now, they're squeezing again. XRP hit $3.40 in its recent high and has been coiling ever since. So when TechDev says we're about to see expansion unlike anything before, I believe him. Everything's lining up. Compression, lagging altcoins, bull market pressure building, and now we've got this from chart analyst Casey Trades. Let's talk about what chart analyst Casey Trades just shared. He posted a fresh look at the XRP USD chart and said something pretty clear-cut. This trend line is everything right now. He's been closely watching this support trend line as the critical level to hold, and guess what? XRP just bounced off it cleanly. That bounce happened right at the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement, sitting around $2.14, which also happens to be the apex of the consolidation range. According to him, that's the most important short-term level on the entire chart. If XRP were to fall below that mark, it would suggest weakness. But for now, it's holding strong. And that's exactly the kind of price action you want to see if we're in the early stages of a true upward trend. The next big resistance lies at $2.25. If we can flip that level into support, the path opens toward the $2.69 retracement. And beyond that, the breakout potential skyrockets. He's saying that if this bounce off the trend line provides enough momentum, we could be witnessing the ignition of Wave 3, a powerful leg up in Elliott wave theory. Folks, we are quite literally in that window where any morning you could wake up to XRP blasting off. Even if we see some sideways movement for a bit longer, or a little dip, that's normal market behavior, but everything on the chart is lining up the idea that XRP doesn't explode from here. Now, check this out. Chart analyst Peppa posted that XRP's 44-day bull flag is nearing its end, and he's not the only one saying it. Tons of analysts have been pointing to XRP's setup and calling it ripe for a breakout. Sure, everyone's got their own timing. Some say this week, some say next month, but across the board, the message is the same. XRP is ready to move. When the chart analysts I follow all start singing the same tune, I pay attention. Because honestly, they're usually right. Take Dark Defender, for example. He says XRP is likely to at least nudge higher in the short term, potentially toward $2.30. Again, not a moonshot yet, but a step in the right direction, and above key support. Then you've got Cryptology, who simply said, the show must go. On his chart ignore, the short-term squiggles is hinting at a surge toward $6 in the medium term. And he's been very vocal about expecting XRP to hit $10 or more this cycle. Love Crypto chimed in too, noting the high level of fear in the market. But he says that's exactly why Bitcoin could reach new all-time highs this summer and XRP could revisit its $3.40 peak. And yep, he specifically said this summer, even blockchain backer recently echoed similar thoughts. He believes there's a solid chance we see that breakout during the summer. Even if it's not early summer, he suggested the back half of the season could be when things heat up. And remember, summer's only 3 months. That's not far off at all. This timing lines up historically too. In previous bull cycles, the 4th summer wasn't born, it was explosive. So we're right on track. Now here's something from Steph, another chart analyst. He's calling for a massive XRP breakout. And he's not alone. Many other analysts are showing charts where XRP is consolidating inside a symmetrical triangle, nearing the apex. According to them, a breakout before that apex is very likely, and that's usually when the biggest moves happen. X-Force Global even projected a peak around $27 for XRP. That may sound wild, but in a full-on mania phase with major capital flowing in, totally possible. I mean, if the crypto market goes parabolic like it has before, that kind of price action isn't off the table. So let me just say it straight. I genuinely believe there's never been a more exciting time to be an XRP holder. No, it won't be a perfectly smooth ride straight up, but we are right on the edge of something massive. After everything this community has endured, the lawsuits, the delays, the sideways trading, this feels like the moment where everything finally turns. We're staring down life-changing potential here. XRP touching the moon. It's closer than it's ever been, and this time, it just might stick the landing.